and surely have picked up 3 precious points.
Welcome to Orient Live, and happy St Patrick's Day to our Irish contingents supporting as well. The boys are in green, entering the Red Cherry Record Stadium tonight, and hopefully the O's can get the rub of the green and the luck of the Irish as we go on the hunt for 3 wins on the bounce. And we're going to be bringing you all of the action here tonight on Orient Live. I'm delighted to be joined in the studio by Orient attacker Jordan Graham and journalist Andrew Butler. Gents, welcome. A big night tonight. Hopefully the O's can make it through on the bounce.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun. I think it's safe to say I'm looking forward to a little bit more on the back of the last 2 league games, Ollie. It's been what was it's a difficult start to the year in terms of league fixtures and form, but we've turned it around in the last couple of games, and yeah, there's definitely a much better energy and feel factor around the place. So definitely looking forward to this game a little bit more than I probably was a week or so ago.
And Andrew, we spent last Tuesday in this studio watching the first win in a while against Stevenage. A similarly tough game tonight away to Wimbledon. It's always a bit of a fiery occasion.
Yeah, it feels kind of like similar-ish kind of occasions, similar distance journeys, similar sized clubs that you go into, similar kind of, as you mentioned, the fire that we always seem to welcome when we go away to either Stevenage or Wimbledon. So it's going to be enjoyable. There'll be a lot of fans there. There was an amazing travelling fan base last Tuesday that got the deserved 3 points from it. So yeah, it's going to be, I think, an enjoyable evening.
Wimbledon not been in too bad form themselves, Jordan. How do you think the O's are feeling turning up away there this evening?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one, Ollie, because the O's, I think, we've took 9 points from the last 15 available, and Wimbledon have took 10 from the last 15 available. So I think if we were to probably rewind a week ago, it would almost seem strange to say that we were, a relatively informed team prior to the win at Stevenage, but I think 9 points from the last 15 available is a very good return. And I think if we could pause and go back to 10-3 on the afternoon before the kickoff at Northampton away and say that we're going to take 9 points from the next 15 available, I think everyone would have probably snapped your hand off. So yeah, I think tonight there's definitely a little bit more confidence in the group. Probably the fans are believing a little bit more, and everyone's a bit more positive. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it.
4 points separating ourselves and that 4th spot in the relegation zone as well. We're still obviously looking over our shoulder, but it looks that little bit rosier, and Richie will probably be a bit more optimistic about looking at it now compared to maybe 4 or 5 games ago.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, I think we deserve those 2 wins as well. It's not like a smash and grab by any stretch of the imagination. We were in the game as well against Bradford, so there's been positive performances that we've finally kind of got the results that we deserve. And you look at the teams around us, some of them are in a horrendous form. So I think it's just that the optimism obviously comes with getting 3 points, but the optimism also comes from what you hear around the clubs, the fact that the players are like putting the effort in. I thought last Tuesday, the effort, it was, I mean, we said this last Tuesday, but after the game, which is, I know, easy to say after the fact, but the desire to just close out the game was sensational. The last 10 minutes, the save from Will Dennis, but also the effort from the likes of Sonny Perkins coming on the pitch to just really want it. And we took that into Saturday and again got the deserved 3 points against a Peterborough team who, okay, fine, you can say they don't have really much to play for, and you could arguably say the same for Wimbledon this evening, but Wimbledon have been in great form since the turn of the year. I think it's only Cardiff who've got more points since the end of January. So these are all going to be tough games, and we need to take kind of the encouragement that we've had over the last couple of wins into this evening.
Of course, it has been Saturday, and now this is our 4th game in a fortnight or so. If we hadn't have got those 2 results in the last 2 games, tonight would have probably felt like a real slog. But I guess you bounce into it with a little extra spring in your step.
Yeah, absolutely, Ollie. I think that it's a great point that you make, great question, because I was thinking to myself about it earlier. If you look at the game at the weekend against Peterborough, because we won at Stevenage and we got the 3 points, which was probably fair to say probably an unexpected 3 points given the form that we had and the form that Stevenage. I think they're currently 5th in the table at the time when we played them last week. But we take the 3 points away at Stevenage and we go into the weekend and we go 2-0 up. And then when Peterborough score with 5 minutes to go, it's 84th, 85th minute, and they make it 2-1. If we hadn't have got the 3 points at Stevenage, 3-4 nights before that game, I think it's crazy football sometimes. Like subconsciously, there's more pressure within the players. It's like, oh no, but we managed to see the game out, and all of a sudden you fast forward a week and we've got 6 points. And I think now going into this game, the lads will definitely be a lot more confident because of the last 2 results, and which kind of came out of nowhere, really. The performances have got slightly better, but the results are game-changing in football, and now the lads definitely will have loads more confidence going into this game tonight.
Well, another positive performance, and those 3 points will of course be crucial for the O's, and there's one man who I'm sure will be just as desperate for them as we are. It's Richie Wellens, so let's hear from his pre-match thoughts now.
Gaffer, Wimbledon on Tuesday night, how are you feeling heading to it?
Confident. I think the last 2 games have been pretty good. We're playing against a team that has had a brilliant season. We know how difficult it can be when you get promoted, but I think Johnny's done a great job there. Difficult place to go. Watched a bit of their game against Blackpool a few weeks ago, so tough game, yeah.
They've got good home form as well recently, picked up massive 9 points out of the last 3. How difficult can it be for the team to go there?
Well, it's proven very difficult in the last 3 games, hasn't it? So anyway, it doesn't matter. When we're at it and when we do the basics right, we're a really, really good team, and will be a problem for anyone home or away. But I think they're a club that came up, took them a bit of time to adjust. But I think in the mid part of the season to this part of the season, they've really kicked on. And like I say, there's some big clubs in this league with some big budgets. So congratulations for them. They've had a good season and something that they can build on going forward.
How have you further assessed the Peterborough United game?
2 parts really, a little bit off it. First 20 minutes in our press, we got played round. Full-backs got out too much. Too many situations where their wingers had 1v1. All of our defenders defended well against that. It's probably they had too many touches, slowed it down a little bit, and then had a really good period from around half an hour to half time. Should have scored 2 or 3 more. I thought second half, by the first 6-7 minutes, we was a dominant team. So again, different goal scorers, different area of the pitch, some really, really good performances. Bakinson with his winner was outstanding. Subs came on and had a huge impact. Defensively good. Tom James and Simpson have been excellent the last few games. Casey coming in for Forest are excellent. James Morris has settled into the club really, really well. I thought Charlie stopped Collins for Peterborough, one of their best players, totally nullified him and then was a threat the other way. Don Ballard, O'Neill, the front players, excellent. Demi Mitchell could have scored, and obviously Theo coming on for him gives us a real impact down that right hand side. So yeah, when we're at it, when our work and intensity is at its maximum, we're a really good team.
Right, Richie's opted for just the 1 change for tonight's fixture then, so let's take a look and see how the O's shape up as they prepare to face the Dons. And starting in goal, it's Will Dennis. Across the back line, James Morris and Tom James are in the fullback positions. Caelan Casey's partnering tonight's captain, Jack Simpson. Azim Abdullah keeps his place in midfield, and it's Tyreek Bakinson who's the 1 change. He comes in for Dylan Levitt. Ahead of them is Charlie Wellens in the 10 role, with Dimitri Mitchell and Ollie O'Neill out on the flanks. Don Ballard leads the line, and on the bench for the O's it's Killian Cahill, Michael Craig, Dan Happy, Sonny Perkins, Idris El Mazuni, Theo Archibald and Favour for Wunmi. So, no real surprise, Jordan, that they've not made many changes tonight, considering how well we finished that game against Peterborough.
Yeah, no real surprises. I think it's the team pretty much picks itself. A really positive performance, like Richie touched on at the weekend. Lots of positives individually and collectively. So yeah, no real surprises in the team selection there. And fingers crossed they can put together another performance like they did on Saturday.
And Tyreek Bakinson rewarded for his goal coming back in. He's gone off of that physical side to the game tonight, which we'll probably need on the road a little bit more than we needed on Saturday.
Yeah, a little bit in the way that Wimbledon play as well. Like they like to cram out the middle of the park. And they play wide with the 5 at the back, but the 2 in midfield for them have kind of been like stalwarts and have been under Johnny Jackson. He always loves that style of football. So having the physicality in there, I mean, we were saying just before we came on air, the way that Azim looks as well, he just looks at kind of like an inch taller. You know, some players sometimes just find a position, settle into it. He looks much, much better in recent weeks. And I like Bakinson in that role as well. The good thing about where we've got to in the last couple of games is that you then look on the bench and Iddy coming back in is obviously a massive thing, but having Levitt on the bench, having like Theo Archibald on the bench as well, you just look at the bench and you go, okay, there's quality stacked through this squad, and so there's options as well. If it's not going our way, then we've also got different things and ways to play this game.
I want to stick on that Baconson goal, but I want to talk about our friend Theo Archibald. Jordan, wow, that assist is, I mean, probably sums up Theo, doesn't it? That was incredible.
It was fantastic. It's difficult for me to talk about Theo without smiling in any capacity. To be honest, he just has that energy. But yeah, I think that assist and the run just sums him up, sums his game up, sums his attitude up. I was fortunate enough to spend such a long period of time off the pitch with Theo and getting to know him as a human, and his mindset, his dedication, his hunger to want to achieve and be better. And yeah, the Theo that I got to know off the pitch was pretty much summed up in that assist on the pitch. Pace, power, drive, want, and quality at the end. And also delighted for T-backs as well, because it's been a relatively tricky period for him as well. So for him to come off the bench and score and now be back in the starting 11 tonight is another real positive for the group. And
in terms of goals then, obviously we needed that second one. Maybe we thought 1-0 would have been enough, but it was a good job we got it. On Saturday, as Richie said, we could have got more. We were cutting Peterborough open. They were so open and expansive that we should have scored more.
Yeah, well, totally. And this is also a point that we've been talking about a little bit in recent weeks as well. Not just the nature of the goals, Baconson's was incredible, but who scored them as well. So Jack Simpson and Baconson getting on the score sheet. We've been a little bit nervous in the slightly trickier periods of the season about who gets our goals if it's not going to be Don Ballard or if it's not going to be Aaron Connolly, because this time last week, Don Ballard had created or had scored 40% of our goals all season, which is a remarkable statistic, right? And so when he plays on Saturday, doesn't get the goal, that's all right. Our centre-back's popped up with a goal, his second of the season. Our centre midfielder's come off the bench and scored a goal, his second of the season as well, and that wins us the game. And this is a great. It kind of all adds to the momentum. I mean, taking nothing away from Don Ballard, how can you possibly? But if he gets 2 goals on Saturday and wins us the game, we're like, oh, he's got us out of the mess again. Like, thank goodness for his goals. But the fact that other players contribute as well in that way, and I know it's not their job to do it, but it's always helpful when your centre back and your centre midfielders are contributing in that way. Is a massive positive to take from the game.
Talking about Don Ballard being the focus of all the goals, there was some murmurings from Richie in his full pre-match interview that maybe he wouldn't be fully fit to start tonight. You'd take a 80% Don Ballard though, wouldn't you? And he does start tonight, and you know why.
Yeah, you probably take a half fit Don Ballard, to be honest. Though he's again a lot of. I haven't actually played with Dom, but getting to know Dom how I have done over the last 10, 11 months, there's a lot of similarities in Dom to Theo in terms of his hunger and his want and his ambition to want to get better. He's always out there after training, practicing his finishing. He works so incredibly hard. And I think it's really important to also mention that I think something that's big in football is it doesn't really happen by chance. You don't just magic up to be where you are. You have to work super hard to get to the top level. And Dom is a perfect example of that. He is the commitment to want to improve every day. Not just it's the days that people don't see when he's constantly trying to get better. And his form in matches, his goals return, and also his general play. I think he's a joy to watch to play. I think with his back to goal, he's excellent. His movement's excellent. His hunger, his passion, his finishing, his technique. I think the kid's got a really high ceiling.
Absolutely. You've already picked up on Azim Abdullah as well, Andrew, but I just want to kind of nail down on him a bit more. He's been crucial really in those last 2 games, and he's another player, along with Tariq, who's maybe found it tricky at times this season, but it does look like he's found his position. Yeah,
and you know what, it's an unforgiving position as well. Playing in a 4-2-3-1 where you've basically got to be a central defensive midfielder, but also people expect you to break forward or one stays and one goes. You have to be excellent, really, really excellent to stand out in a team, because you've got 4 attacking players essentially, and so your job is to basically be kind of unknown in that sort of system. And so for them to stick out as Azim Abdullah has done in the last couple of weeks is real testament to him. I think Idris Al-Mazouni is one of the best players in that position, and so he does sometimes stick out in that position because you can see him affecting the game because he's such a good ball winner and gets on the score sheet as well. But to have players like Azim come into that position and nail it down and look really, really assured as well, just kind of adds to the confidence, but adds to the confidence of those around him.
Absolutely. I mean, he's got that ability. We've seen it in glimpses, haven't we? And he's maybe found himself in and out. He was good just before Christmas, before he picked up an injury. It's enjoyable to see him kind of getting back to that level, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I have a really good relationship with Azim, and I'm really pleased that he's now hit this form essentially, and he's had the games that he's had recently, because he's had a difficult period. I'd probably say it's fair to say since the game that he scored when he first joined and he scored a hat-trick. Since then, it's been pretty tough for him. And like Andrew mentioned, he hasn't actually. I don't think I'm not sure Richie's helped him loads in terms of moving him around in terms of positioning wise on the pitch. It's been hard for him to find his nailed on position, which I believe is an 8 or a holding midfield. He's box to box. And I think he's a confidence player. And Azim, it's difficult because he has to, once he's in form is when you're going to get the best Azim, but he needs to get in form first. And it's been hard because the team haven't been doing so well. He hasn't probably been at his best. And it's almost been a concoction of trying to get the right Azim. And it's not easy, but now he seems like he's really starting to, the cream always rises. And I think Azim is one of those perfect examples. He's got all the characteristics. He just needs to keep believing in himself and trusting in his ability and his work. And I think he's another player that has an extremely high ceiling. And we'll all be fortunate if we get to see the best of Azim regularly.
And part of his job tonight, of course, getting around in that midfield, but protecting the back four a little bit. But they've seemed to have stepped up a level in recent weeks as well. Jack Simpson immense on Saturday. Morris has really settled in, and TJ as well as anyone else who's been filling in alongside him in these last two games. There's been an uplift.
Yeah, and from the outside looking in, you could go, okay, look, we haven't kept a clean sheet since Stockport, but we've also been on the score sheet since then, so it's a fairly moot point. And so you might look at our fixtures and go, well, we haven't kept a clean sheet, so therefore we must be, still a bit shaky defensively. But then you watch the games and you realise, oh no, this is far more assured than it was at some points during the course of the season. Jack Simpson's been immense. Forrester was until we unfortunately got injured, but then Caelan Casey's come in, and it just all adds to the fact that we've got a squad of players who it's like plug and play sometimes with some players. You kind of just put them in, okay, good, right, we don't need to worry about them, or they play in a slightly different way than the guy that he's replaced. And then that's been massively helped by James Morris and Tom James out on the flanks, because two excellent defenders who have brilliant attacking attributes as well.
For sure. Let's talk about Tom James as well, Jordan. Let's take a look at what he offers. We've got clips of him here, and a lot of the time when we look at a fullback, we'll look at their one-on-one defending, but this is, you'd be forgiven for thinking he was just a right back.
Yeah, he's so technically gifted, Ollie. Just a wonderful player to play with, to watch on the ball. And I think sometimes what can happen when you're an extremely talented player on the ball as a fullback, naturally you can get your defensive attributes can get overlooked. But he's actually a really, really good 1v1 defender. And I just think, yeah, he's. I remember we were speaking off air before we came on. I was talking about his corner taking and his dead ball ability with his right and his left foot, and he can put the ball in the right areas with both feet so naturally. He's a joy to watch when he's at his best, and I think it's safe to say right now he's probably it's the best TJ that we've seen all season. So hopefully that form can continue.
It's so funny with these clips, because the thing that you shouldn't let Tom James do is let him get the ball out of his feet and give him a yard of space, because he will just put that ball on a sixpence. Yeah. And so I think any team looking at how to play against him in an attacking role is just like, right, get out to him early and then try and stop him doing what he's best at. But evidently some teams think no, we'll let one of the most technically gifted players in the league just do exactly what he wants to do.
Yeah, I think it's important as well that we don't like overlook his defensive capabilities, because not that I'm comparing him to Trent, but you see with Trent in terms of, because he's so good on the ball, sometimes they won't actually speak about his defensive side of the game. But TJ is a really good. Taking from someone that's run at him for a bit in training, he's a very good 1v1 defender, just a very good overall football player. And when he's playing well, he's a joy to watch.
Well, hopefully another big performance from TJ tonight. Now, of course, don't forget, if you're watching along live on our YouTube preview stream, then you can follow all of the action here with us on Orient Live tonight. UK fans, you can pick up an audio pass to listen along to commentary with Dave and Matt. Or if you're watching from overseas, you can pick up a match pass for just £10 and make sure you don't miss a single second of the action. Now we're going to be taking a look at the home side very shortly after this break.
Is lunch at work awesome? If so, tune out now. If not, keep listening. Picture this: chef-made meals from local restaurants brought right into your workplace. No sad sandwiches, no tired menus. By tapping into the local restaurant scene, Fuda powers workplace dining for companies across the US, giving teams flavor, convenience, and authenticity. Half of Glassdoor's best places to work have partnered with Fuda. Is your team ready to upgrade its workplace food scene? Find out how at Fuda.com. That's FOODA.com.
You have a choice. You can waste 20, maybe 30% of your media budget, spend millions reaching bots, the wrong people, or no one at all. Or just use 0 to 1. It knows who's ready to buy. It's over 85% accurate. Zero wasted spend. The future of marketing isn't guessing. It's knowing.
So what does the future hold for the Rainbows, and what more needs to be done to make this grow?
So in terms of for the Rainbows, the future is bright for us in terms of we're getting new members in. We're looking at more events. So like back in the summer, we did a season launch event where my band actually played in a local pub as part of a thing. We're looking to do more things like that, sort of raising our profile, building more on everything that we're doing currently, because what we're doing is brilliant and sort of trying to raise our own platform.
Yeah.
And in terms of how people can get involved, obviously the obvious one is following us on all the socials, but also just around, it doesn't have to be being part of the group, it can just be, you know, some people you might hear something at a match, don't be afraid to call it out, report it to someone who you can report it to, or kick it out. Have an app now where you can report anonymously as well. These are all things that are definitely worth being aware of. And also I think it'd be interesting to get your perspective as well. Have you noticed any sort of attitude shifts, first of all when you were a player and now as you've moved into being a coach?
Yeah, well, obviously being in the coach bit, but the boys within dressing rooms that I've shared have always welcomed everyone within. Like you said, the Rainbows, Punjabis, we always support it. We wear the t-shirts before the game, we wear the armbands, obviously the flags, and the boys always buy into what can help the place become a better club. So I've noticed that it's grown over the years in terms of more on social media and stuff like that, and more awareness about it. And like you said, if we can keep growing that and then getting these initiatives on social media, it can only help us and make everyone more aware that if you do hear stuff in terms of racism, homophobic, anything like that, that we kick that out, because it's like you said, a small club with a big heart, and we don't want that at this club. Especially.
Right, just over 5 minutes to go until kick-off, but if you are celebrating St Patrick's Day today, then you can pick up the green replica away kit with 40% off. That ends on the 17th, which is tonight. So make sure you head over to the club website to get your order in now. But let's turn our attention back towards the game and see how Johnny Jackson's Wimbledon side are lining up for this evening's game. So we have the goalkeeper, number 20, Joe McDonald. We have Steve Seddon, Ryan Johnson, the captain, Omar Bugle, Marcus Brown, Alistair Smith, Miles Hippolyte, Junior King, Nkeng, Joe Lewis, Isaac Ogundure and Zach Nelson. And on the bench for Wimbledon as well there, we have in very small writing. Nathan Bishop, Nathan Asimwe, Jake Reeves, Callum Maycock, Matty Stevens, Patrick Bauer, Antoine Hackford. So that's how the Dons shape up. Andrew, we've touched on them a little bit, but what are we expecting?
I mean, they're a very organised team. They've had like fairly decent form. They lost to Stevenage away 1-0 at the weekend. I know beating Stevenage away isn't for everyone, so that's on them. But they've had a very good second half of the season. There's an interesting way of looking at Wimbledon, which is either they're I think they're 13th in the league, but they're 7 points off the playoffs. Right? They've played 36 games, 7 points off the playoff. There was a team last season that was 7 points off with 10 games to go. Do you know who that was?
Was it us, Andrew?
It was us. Yeah, it was us. So if they were positive about the situation they're in, they'd look at that and think, actually, like these aren't just dead rubbers till the end of the season. Something could be on here. I think that loss against Stevenage hampered them slightly, but they've got quality. Marcus Brown's got 14 goals this season. Omar Bugle's got 7, but also 6 assists. So their attacking force has kind of worked very, very well in tandem. And so our defence, I mean, we've just been talking about them, but our defence has to be at our very best. And
their defence as well, Jordan, as we'll see here. We say this whenever we look at goals that a team concede, but there are goals in this Wimbledon defence to get at.
Yeah, there are. The boys would have been watching, these clips that we're watching now, and they'll definitely know how they can break them down and how they can cause them problems. But like Andrew touched on, I think Wimbledon they're a side that at the moment, you look where they were last season. They were in the playoff final. They didn't get promoted automatically last year. They won the playoff final. They're 13th now, coming towards the end of March back in League One. So it's been a very positive season as a whole for Wimbledon. I think they're unbeaten at home since I think it's the 31st of January. So they've made that going to their home stadium in the league a bit of a fortress in the last 6 weeks. So it's not going to be an easy game for the boys by no means tonight. But yeah, on the back of the last 2 league games, the boys should be feeling pretty positive going into tonight's game. So we'll see what happens.
And of course, there's still a bit of a bitter taste following that New Year's Day game. That was a really bad loss, and we want to kind of set that wrong right. But we thrive on situations like this, going to a strong away side and trying to upset the scoreline.
Yeah, and I mean, Wimbledon, they might come out as strong, but we should obviously take positivity from the last couple of games. That they'll look at the result we've had against Stevenage of late. They'll look at the way that we beat Peterborough and think actually this is a team that might now be in a false position in the league. So it's all to play for.
It absolutely is. Well, the teams have made their way out onto the pitch in South West London. So let's hand over to our commentary team with Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock.
Well, good evening and welcome to Plough Lane, where the travelling Leyton Orient supporters are making plenty of noise. And why not? Back-to-back wins in the league for Richie Wellens' men. But they face Johnny Jackson's AFC Wimbledon, who've been enjoying home comforts. And tonight,